Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Galaxy Geeks Live. That was nice. That was really loud. That was a good, loud applause.
I'm sorry.
It was good. I liked it. It was coming from a galaxy far, far away. That was really good.
There you go.
Yeah. So welcome, fellow geeks and nerds. How are you? We're so happy to be here again. We're so happy that you're joining us here on another Thursday edition of Galaxy Geeks Live. We have a lot to talk about today. And as the title says, we're going to be talking about our reactions to Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 3. So this was a really, really cool episode. We hope that as we talk about it, you guys feel free to post your comments or ask questions as we go along here. And as usual, before we dive in, just want to say thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for watching live, and thank you for everybody that will be watching the replay of this and listening to the audio version of this episode. As we do all the time, there's always an audio version, which you can listen to and subscribe to anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yes.
And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that little subscribe button too, so that way you get notified every single time. Punch that subscribe button.
Yes.
Punch it.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. We already got some great comments coming in. We're definitely gonna be getting into this. I know we just saw it. Zemo's dancing. Yes, it just came out. I retweeted it, and we will definitely be talking about that and showing that. As we go here. But let's start talking about the Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 3. Of course, as always, we talk about the previous week's episode. We record these shows the Thursday before the next episode drops. So tomorrow, Episode 4 will be dropping. I can't believe we're only 3 episodes away until the end of the series. And
the end. Yeah.
I'll tell you, this episode, every episode gets better and better, man.
Yeah, I love what they've done with Mandalorian, with WandaVision, but this is the first out of everything. It's the first thing that's really given me like that real like cinema feel where I really want to, I want to go back and really watch it just to make sure if there was anything that, I missed or whatever. And not that I haven't done it with the other series, but it's kind of like more instinctual with this. I don't know. The other thing that I thought of was how you have series like Breaking Bad, or you have series like over the last few years, you've had series where the name of an episode is the name of a show or the name of a movie. And right after I saw this, I told you, I said, this was the, John Wick episode. Because
yes.
It was between Sharon Carter kicking ass, or whether the nightclub, which also kind of harkens back to Blade as well, a little bit with there's the vampire scene where they go into the club and he's like just starts taking out vampires. So there's a lot of different things that kind of reminded me of other things. All great, So yeah, I saw that you posted, I believe, in the group where, or may have been somebody else now that I'm thinking. It said Falcon Winter Soldier with Zemo and Sharon Carter.
It was. I think it was Christian. I think posted that.
Yeah,
and it was. That is funny, and that's exactly how it kind of feels, because they've been doing such. This show's very well written, and you're bringing the caliber of the cast in from these films, who are all really good actors, and you're really like just letting them shine and do their things, and they're adding in humor, they're adding the action elements. I mean, once again, we'll just unpack that really quick, but like that whole sequence of meeting up with Sharon Carter, and then they're going to go find the doctor who's got the superhuman serum, the strength serum, and then that entire scene with the storage containers was so John Wick. I know you just said that, but I mean that was exactly like my wife and I were watching it. We're like, holy God, this is like John Wick. This is great. Like Shara Carter is completely crushing it right now. That whole sequence was just so amazing. And then to just go into like all the other stuff that then happens like later on in that episode to like, we are, the whole like the story with I'm forgetting her name. The one that's playing like the leader, Carrie. Is her name Carrie?
Yeah, from the Flag Smashers.
Flag Smashers, and we're seeing all that with her and her mother passing away, and which was like really started to lend a lot more credence to like what their mission is with stealing, medicine and stuff. But then she starts to turn heel a little bit and does something that she didn't really need to do, which was basically blow up. I mean, they had all those guys and like basically performing like
they were technically on their side. If you really think about it, they kind of attacked their own people because, as you said, they had to turn heel. It's funny. I've seen that same exact thing on various sites. They've started to coin the turning heel mode. Yeah. So there's so many things that we can look into where Carly, right? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
There's so many things that they're already starting to weave out. We trying to kind of fish out, which we talked about at the beginning when the show started, where this happened with WandaVision, where you're getting all these like really different theories. Now, the Flag Smashers have it's the world with the hand, the palm of their hands, and her mother, Carly's mother, or at least the person that brought her up, had a similar symbol when she died. It was more like a Buddhist symbol with the world in the palm of their hands, and it was related to supposedly the GRC. Is that what they're calling it? The government replacement or global, something like that. Right. So they're trying to connect the two there by saying that the one symbol is more like all inclusive, like including different religions within the hand. Whereas the Flag Smashers have their like own vision where their hand's different and they want the world to be, the way that they envision it. There was also the thing that I sent you. I saw all of these X-Men theories. This is the series where the X-Men are coming.
I know. I was watching some of those breakdown videos on YouTube with like, that's to say bar, Wolverine's in, and then there's an X on the thing, and it's like, let the theories begin.
Yes, the X was so funny because I mentioned it to you. I'm like, that's the no parking on either side sign in all of Europe.
Right.
So sure. Could it be placement? Of course it could. But, it was similar to that original meme. I've got a thing or two to think about this. Oh, he's calling the thing,
Right.
That's yes. The bar is something that appeared in X-Men, but also appeared in a Captain America episode or issue apparently as well. There's the whole Thunderbolts thing that's still being proposed, and the Power Broker, which is being brought up as one of the theories. So let's see. I have a couple of theories. I don't think Sharon is the Power Broker. Yeah, I think she's working for the Power Broker myself. I think it is a robot version of Armin Zola from the comics, but I think Sharon is working for Ross. Now, okay, so those are two very interesting theories that I've plausibly thought of because we saw Sharon and Zola in the New Jersey base. In Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it was Winter Soldier. I think it's Winter Soldier.
Yeah. And then there's the other thing with Ross. Ross's nickname is Thunderbolt Ross. So if we're going to introduce the Thunderbolts, essentially Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
It would kind of make sense to kind of weave him in there, and maybe being someone who's keeping tabs on Zemo. Maybe, you know, look, there's talk of so many different things. There's talk of Abomination coming back with Tim Roth, who was in the Hulk movie with Thunderbolt Ross. So there's a ton of different theories and things that we can think of that could be plausible. Unfortunately, every series now, oh, well, this is the opening for the Avengers. Oh, this is the opening for the Fantastic Four. I think so much of this is wishful thinking on the parts of fans,
right?
And even people have even said, I brought up Blade before. I've even seen someone say, well, no, this could be the inclusion of Blade because Blade was supposed to go off to, this country or that country or whatever, and they're going to find him. And I'm like, how does that exactly work into everything? I think people are just looking for something.
Well, I mean, like anything else, right? Your imagination gets going, you get excited, as fans. It's like you want, because you don't know like what they're gonna drop, and sometimes, and that's they'll drop like a little nugget and be like, oh, all the way back in Iron Man, like and it's just that's how Marvel does it. So then it becomes a game now, and plus it's fun to talk about. I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. As fans, it's like you want to keep the conversation going. It's fun. It's when is Mephisto coming? It's like it's that whole thing. But it is. It gives us a lot to talk about.
Third theory that I think could be plausible is the Doctor Doom theory, because in the comics, Doom was from the country that was next to Sokovia.
Right.
Okay. So
Latavia, right? Latavia,
or something like that. So Zemo has already dropped that after everything happened, that all the neighbors kind of scavenged and took all of Sokovia's resources.
Yeah.
Could there be a tie-in? We've already seen Ayo at the end of the series.
Yeah.
Could there be a tie-in where all of those Ultrons smashed to the floor in Sokovia? Could that vibranium have then been taken to make Doom's armor?
It's very possible. I mean, listen, if they're going to tie that in, I mean, it's there. So like, what happened to it? Was it like, like in Spider-Man where Michael Keaton's got the salvage team and then Stark Industry, government comes in, Stark Industry puts a stop to it. I mean, is it a thing where Stark Industries did the same thing, took all that vibranium and cleaned it up, cleaned the site before that could happen? Or was it
in WandaVision, where they said Vision was, $3 million worth of vibranium.
Yeah, billion.
Or $3 billion. Okay.
Billion. I think it was billion. I think it's a billion. But exactly. I mean, I think I definitely feel like that's a possibility that they could tie that in. We will not see Dr. Doom in this episode, but I do appreciate the tie-in of possibly teasing that this is where Doom could have gotten an armor from, the Latavia tie. I mean, it's mixing, the pot is mixing. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And I do love, because we get at the end of this episode, the tie-in now with Wakanda and Black Panther and Io coming in. And I thought that was great. I loved how, you start to see the tech and Bucky's following it. And I'm like, it's coming. You're like, here it comes. And who's it going to be? And it's like, it's Io. Here we go. Because they even made a point of saying that, like, hey, he's, like if the Wakandans find out that Zemo's out, like they're coming for him.
Yeah. And so it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see in tomorrow's episode, how they affront this, because Bucky's gonna have to talk her off the ledge. Now, this could happen where she ends up joining the team in the sense that she'll be like, okay, I will let you guys work with Zemo so long as I'm along for the ride, and he comes with me once this is all over. There's definitely a bunch of different ways that we can go with this. But again, Power Broker.
Right.
Do we find out who the Power Broker is? Again, 3 episodes left.
Yeah, I think we absolutely will. And at the pace things have been moving in this, like, we said, oh, there's no way they're going to pair these guys up till the end of episode 2. And like right away, they paired them up in the start of episode 2. So they are moving at a fast pace while also taking the time to do setups, introduce characters, explore some things, go deeper dive, like the scenes that we've been seeing them do, like with the whole Isaac scene, which was great. And it's just taking the time to like really get the pieces set without like blowing through them, because this is all coming back. Like, you don't introduce Isaac and just forget about it. Like that's coming back. And so that's what I'm really excited to see, is now how this is all going to come. And if there is this Sharon Carter play and she is working with Ross, and we find out Ross is Power Broker, which I think is very plausible. That's a very plausible, unless it's Mephisto.
Here's another thing. If that's the case, because U.S. Agent technically was a Thunderbolt at one point.
Yes, and we still have to deal with that because he wasn't even in this last episode.
Very, very little at the beginning, where they showed up late, where the Flag Smashers were.
That was it.
And could we have, if it's Ross, let's say if it's Ross, come to him, or even this could be Zola too. It could be one of the others. Right. Say, hey, the only thing that you're missing to be Captain America is to be a super soldier. Right. I can get you there, but you need to bring me Isaiah, or you need to do this for me. Because I think at the end of the day, power and greed to an extent is gonna sway him. I mean, he keeps beating himself and thinking, when are you guys gonna accept me? When do I stop being the asshole and actually and
we saw him start to lose his cool a bit in this last episode too, the frustration, because I know he wants a win. He wants a win bad to validate himself.
They want validation. Yes.
Right. And he's starting to lose his way. And it's like, and even see, this is why we do the show, and I can't ever remember anybody's names. I got to start writing down everybody's names so I know exactly, because I just forget during the course of the day. But his sidekick,
Battlestar.
Yeah, thank you. Battlestar is even he was like, yo, like you gotta cool it, man. Like you gotta take it down a notch. Like this isn't the way we're doing things. And you start to see things like, I think that this episode 2 was interesting to see people's switches starting to flip. Him, Carly Morganhouse, you see her switches flipped. Even too, like, with Bucky and Falcon, and they're starting to do things, and even that whole setup and Sharon Carter, like it's just things are now starting to kind of everybody. I feel like everybody's getting a little above, they're all in a little too deep. They're all above their head in some of these situations, and things are starting to come off the rails. I mean, everything that happened in that storage unit was a complete debacle.
Yes.
But
it seems like a complete setup, though. If you go back and analyze, and you see Sharon get into the car at the end, it really seems like she set the whole thing up. Like she
probably did.
She's, she was trying to get to the doctor somehow, or maybe she knew that one of them was gonna. She had an inkling that one of them was gonna take the doctor out, and that's not in their best interest. They want to make sure that there's only 20 vials left, because that makes them more expensive that way. It makes them more of it drives the price up.
Now what's interesting is something the doctor said, which I started thinking about, and so maybe you could validate, because I was having a hard time remembering where and what happened. But when he was referring to having a vial to work from, he is referring to the vial of Steve Rogers' blood that Peggy had in hiding. And the last time we saw that was in Agent Carter. And from there, I'm having a hard time remembering what happened to the vial between Agent Carter and, I guess, eventually passing enough hands to then get to him.
Right.
Where it was given to him from the power broker.
But you have to figure this.
Because he said, we only had one vial to work with of blood. And the only person I could think of was that or Isaiah. Which
if that's the route they're going, then the power broker Zola, because S.H.I.E.L.D. ended up becoming Hydra.
Right.
You know, Hydra had secretly infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. how long ago?
Yeah.
And then that would mean that that Carter's vial ended up in Zola's hands, and then Zola's the one that turned it over, which would get back to the whole, you know, Zola as a robot being the power broker theory making sense.
Right. Yeah, so that was just something I had picked up on, and I was trying to think about, like, okay, so then what happened? Like, the last time I remember seeing the vial was Peggy Carter had it in Agent Carter, and then I just couldn't remember what happened to it from there.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think it ever showed up again in any of the movies.
I don't think so either. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, that wasn't the focus, because, I mean, if you think about it, the only other time that we remotely got close to seeing anyone that was a super soldier was Bucky, and was in Siberia, where they ended up, you know, in Civil War. And, you know, I don't know, or maybe instead of the whole Isaiah route or the Steve Rogers route, maybe there was something that they recovered in Siberia, you know, after Civil War. And that's what was given to him. You know, that's what the power broker gave them. Here's another thing to throw out there. The Hobbit, the guy that, but he's technically dead. I mean, no one's ever truly dead, but
I mean, I mean, isn't the last time we saw him at the end of Civil War? Oh, no.
So there's two different Hobbits.
That's Martin Freeman.
No, the other guy who was also in the Hobbit.
Yeah, he plays Gollum. Yeah, Andy Serkis.
Yes,
okay. And he's Addy Snoke. Yeah, we saw him. Yeah, we saw him in
Black Panther.
He was killed in Wakanda. Yeah.
Kilgore kills him and brings him to Wakanda.
Right.
He was the one that was, you know, exporting vibranium illegally from Wakanda.
Right. He was stealing, and yeah, exactly.
Could there be someone like that? I mean, I bring him up, but could there be someone who's like an arms dealer who, after everything went down in this series, or in Civil War, went up and got what they needed, you know, out of there?
Yeah, it's definitely possible, because I mean, he had a lot of vibranium there. I mean, and if the Wakandans found a ship and took, because he was working out of a ship or something, if I remember.
Yeah, but I'm referring to the super soldier serum. Maybe someone in Siberia and ended up taking. Or the whole Wakandan angle, because Black Panther ended up taking Zemo. You know, at the end, he's the one that got him. So could that be a further Wakanda connection with that specific base, where maybe the Wakandans got something out of there? I don't know. I mean, again, we're kind of casting different nets here and seeing what we pick up.
Right, and there's also the other thing that we have to remember is, you know, there's still Tim Roth's character is still out there.
Abomination, yeah.
Abomination. he's still out there.
And they've already said that he's going to be part of She-Hulk. So,
right. So, you know, I mean, it's probably a stretch, but is there a tie in there? Is there a reference to him? I don't know. And is that a possible where they can get super serum?
Yes, because theoretically the Hulk was, you know, another tried a super soldier. Abomination was similar in the extent that they tried it as well, but it went wrong. And She-Hulk somehow, you know, is going to have to be worked into I'm not saying into this series, but that series is coming out later on this year, supposedly.
Right.
So, you know, there's still plenty of just Disney Plus tie-ins. We've got that. We've got Hawkeye. We've got Ms. Marvel. We've, you know.
Yep.
We've got Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. I mean, it's, you know, and we still have Loki coming up. That which is Loki, they dropped that trailer, which was awesome, and so I mean, there's a lot on deck.
We've got Spider-Man who still has to show up as well, you know. So there's Spider-Man will be showing up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, predicted by Chris Bagley.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, you had it ready this time.
Yeah, I had it ready this time. Well, I mean, overall, once again, you know, we'll wrap. We're keeping this episode a little bit shorter today. But yeah, I mean, overall, great episode. I'm hooked. I mean, they just have been knocking out of the park every week. Quality, writing, acting, all high level caliber stuff. So I'm very excited to watch episode 4. Dropping tomorrow, and of course you'll have all our reactions to that in the following weeks, and you know, of course, too. And if you want to get real-time reactions to stuff and participate with other fans of these shows, all you have to do is join our Galaxy Geeks Facebook group. Totally free to join. There's about 200 or so fans in there, and everybody's participating. We're always talking about the episodes. We keep it cool. There's not a lot of spoiler stuff. We're all very good, but it is a great place to share in with other fans of all these properties in a cool and safe space. No one's trolling each other. That's Victor and I have made sure very much so that it is. While everybody's free to talk about these things, everybody has a lot of respect and brings that to the room. So definitely please join us over there at the Galaxy Geeks Facebook group and continue these conversations with us as we go along, for sure. Now,
you're free to collectively dance like Zemo, and no one's going to say a thing about it.
Yes, exactly. And so, before, you know, I like to say, I know we're keeping this episode a little bit shorter, but we do have to talk about one of the greatest things that have come out of this episode, which took off like wildfire, much like the Agatha Harkness song. It was Agatha All Along, which was great and had remixes, and the video was awesome. But we had this great dance party that happened during the episode. Sharon Carter has a party because we find out she's dealing art, and she invites them all to the party, and then everybody's doing their thing. We're doing separate shots, and we get this amazing B-roll shot of Zemo cutting loose. And it was so short. And I remember we were like, oh my God, check Zemo out, having a good time. And so the internet went on fire with released the Zemo cut of more dance footage. And today, Disney granted the request the eve of the new episode being dropped, and they granted the request. So I know there's no sound on these when I share them, but I will share this really quick just so that at least you guys will go check it out. But this is what Disney dropped on Twitter today. Really brief, about 28 seconds long. And it's Zemo cutting it, more footage of Zemo cutting it up.
Yeah, I remember watching this, and
amazing.
I told my wife, I was like, what the hell was that? Because it was just like a second. Just you see him like you said, just like fucking busting loose for like a second. It's like, what's going on?
Got the look.
Here's another interesting thing, real quick. Daniel Bruhl, is that his name?
Yes. Great actor. Okay.
He does his own voiceover in German.
Does he really?
Yes. I was watching the credits at the end, and it said it. I'm like, wow, he does his own stuff. Now, I didn't know this, but he's born in Spain to, I guess, German parents, lived in Spain up until he was, I think, an early teenager, moved to Germany, and started working as a voiceover actor in his teens.
Wow.
His first big break was Inglourious Bastards, and for U.S. Movies. And what ended up happening was he does his voiceovers in German, Spanish, and Italian usually.
Wow.
Yeah. No, not Italian. French. My bad. French, not Italian. And like, for example, with this series, he's only doing German, but he's fluent in all those languages. So he does his own stuff. So I read that, like 2 days ago. I was like, you're kidding me. I figured, in German, okay, that makes sense. He's German, whatever, but it was interesting to find out all that other stuff.
Wow. He is very multilingual. So I can guarantee the Zemo dance. that's gonna be the rage all summer long. It's kids are gonna be going nuts all summer.
You know what they need to do? You know what they need to do is mix the Zemo dance with the Agatha Harkness song.
You know what? I guarantee, everybody be watching their feeds, watching YouTube, because the remixes are coming. They're coming, and that's a great idea. I'm sure somebody's already working on that, cutting that together. It's happening.
Yeah,
so cool. So, do we have any quick hits before we wrap it up?
We do not.
All right. Well,
I was told to keep things short, sir.
Nope, that is okay. So we did talk about the Zemo cut real quick. We will talk a little bit more, especially more in the group, about the Loki trailer that did drop.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing trailer. So we'll be breaking that down soon as well. We'll be talking about it in the group. So make sure everybody you join the Galaxy Geeks Facebook group. So yeah, we're gonna cut it a little short tonight. Sometimes you just gotta shorten it up, but we will definitely be back next week for the Galaxy Geeks podcast. Victor will be solo next week, or he'll have a special guest. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to be co-hosting next week, but I wish you well, my friend.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, but there will be definitely a show. But yeah, Victor may be going solo, or some special guests may come on. We don't know. We're working on it. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
But yeah, so we once again want to thank everybody so much for watching and hanging out with us today on another episode of the Galaxy Geeks live podcast. And wow, there's so much always to talk about, to say goodbye. I just want to say goodbye, and everybody have a great day, a great night, and look forward to watching episode 4 tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, so that way you get notified every time we go live. And also, if you're listening to the audio version, please subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast, the audio version of it. So that way, once again, you get notified every time we drop a new episode, which has been weekly at this point, because we've been going live every week, which we intend on doing for as long as we possibly can, because with the amount of stuff coming out, there's definitely not a shortage of things to keep talking about in the world of geekdom. So
yeah,
I guess with that, we'll wrap it up, sir. So I'll let you take us out.
Sure. Punch it. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. And we will see you next time right here on the Galaxy of Geeks live stream /podcast.